What's up, y'all?
It's Kayla.
And it's Sway, and this is the Normal Girls Podcast.
International Shawty.
All right.
Yay.
Where are we? Let's talk about it.
You're so annoying. As you can see, y'all, we done switched locations.
Yes.
This might be the official location. We don't know yet, so y'all still along with the journey.
Yes.
We like it so far. We still kind of, figuring all this
Breaking
podcast.
it in.
We really are.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get mics soon. So stay with us on this journey, y'all. It only gets better.
Yes.
And
if you have some podcast studios for, spaces that we can use, hit us up.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know. You know what I think we should do in this episode?
What?
We forgot to tell them why we chose the name Normal Girls.
Yes, so we picked the name The Normal Girls because obviously we're more than just ordinary normal girls.
Exactly.
We travel in our 20s, we don't have any children right now, we're single, and we really use all our time to live life to its fullest. We didn't realize that the things that we do and the hobbies that we have weren't normal hobbies.
Definitely not.
Like Kayla living abroad, me learning a whole nother language, us traveling with all our free time. These are things that, in today's time, people make it seem like it's a luxury or it's a thing that you can only get when you reach a certain level.
Right.
However, we just want to make it a new normal. You can do these things and you don't have to break the bank in order to explore the world and travel and see new things. Just being young right now, this is the time to just take things in, and we want to shine light on these things, how we do this, how we go and create these different experiences and just live our life as young hot 20 girls.
Period. Because it's so crazy, because like what you said earlier, me living abroad in a whole other country, that felt very normal.
Yes, exactly.
That felt very normal to do. It felt pretty on brand for me to do.
Yeah.
But that's not normal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But it's normal for us because we're just two normal girls.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? Of course we're living abroad. Of course we're learning a new language. And, so we've kind of always been like this, always been the leaders of the pack, always kind of been talking when we're not supposed to be talking.
Thinking outside of the box. Like, as little girls, me and Kayla always knew that we were going to travel the world. Like, that was just something that we just knew that we were going to do. And now that we're older, in our 20s, we're definitely doing all the things that we dreamt of. And, it's just cool to have an opportunity to show people, you can really do these things.
I know. Look at me. I'm the example. Yeah. Because honestly, especially, we're going to get into it later with me studying abroad, but it just, if you don't see somebody doing it, you sometimes feel like you can't do it.
Right.
But I never felt that way. Nobody ever lived abroad, but I just did it. But we're going to get into that later, y'all.
Yes.
But how was your week, girl?
It was really good. Just productive. I'm getting ready to go out of town, so I just had to get everything in order with my business and stuff like that. But everything is good, just relaxing. Ramadan's getting ready to start, so I'm going to be fasting soon. Yeah. But other than that, it's been good. How about you?
Girl, my week has been good as well. Just trying to honestly get all my life in order. Sometimes I go through these phases where I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
I know people go through that sometimes too, but you should just look back at how far you come, through your journey.
Right.
And I kind of had that moment kind of this week, am I doing enough? And there's always room to improve. There's always room to continue to push yourself.
Right.
But I'm just been trying to tell myself, girl, you are doing amazing. You
are.
have further to go.
Right.
But you're getting there.
Good. Give yourself grace.
Exactly. Thank you.
But real quick, check my fit.
You look real cute. I love it.
Thank you, girl. I'm trying to get in all these winter outfits before the season changes. Because spring is around the corner.
I know.
It was real nice and sunny this morning, but then it had a little breeze. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get one more wear out of this little outfit. I love it so much. It's so cozy and cute.
It's so cute.
Yes.
But girl, I'm repping real Atlanta.
Yes.
I'm just having a Braves crew neck today, y'all.
Super cute.
Thank
Where'd you
you.
get that from?
Girl, I took it from my dad. But honestly, I had to because I wasn't here when we won the World Series. This when I was living abroad. So I was real happy and hyped when we won that year, y'all. I love anytime Atlanta get a championship. I'm real happy.
Which is rare.
But yeah, girl. I it. And you know what's so funny? What you said earlier this week with the Atlanta Braves logo. Yeah. How more people are wearing it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good point you made.
Have y'all noticed, like, you know, you have your typical hats, snapbacks, and
like with the New York logo.
Right, with the New York or the LA. I'm starting to see a lot more people that's not from Atlanta wearing Atlanta just as like a outfit piece. Or like a, you know, fashion statement.
We up there. Our logo up there now.
Before, you could only see a Atlanta hat from people in Atlanta, you know.
Like my dad always wore Atlanta.
Right, you know what I mean? So it's just like, now seeing people, and I'm like, where are you from? They're like, not from here.
Exactly.
So it's like, wow, okay, we're up there now with the NY and the LA. Like, okay.
We are. I love that for us.
Me too. So this episode is International Shawty. We're going to just be talking about our experience in traveling abroad.
First places we ever traveled to.
Yes.
Places we've been together.
Our favorite places.
Our craziest stories.
Yes, things like that. Yeah. So we just love to shine light on traveling and our experiences to let other people have a little insight on the places that we've been and also talk about the things that we look forward to in our future travels as well.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Places you traveled to as kids. So where did your family go? And we'll get into where my family went, but I'm curious.
So before we, you know, took it out the country, we were the Florida family.
Okay.
Go to Florida every summer pretty much, or like vacation time, spring break, winter break, things like that, because my parents are educators. So we definitely utilize what they call a timeshare. I don't know if they still have timeshares.
Definitely. I mean, my dad definitely was one of those people that would listen to the timeshare, but we would never get it. We just always was there to get like tickets. They gave away free stuff like tickets to parks.
That's what my parents did too. Yeah. So that's how they would like get experiences for me and my brother, because they were kind of young when they had us, young parents. So just sacrificing things to give their children experience, and we definitely appreciate it because we wore Florida out. When I tell you we spent so much time there, it was like our second home. But after we kind of got out of the timeshare experience, we went on to cruises because our parents wanted us to kind of see different cultures and to get a taste of going abroad. It's hard to fund for, you know, 2 kids and 2 adults. So, you know, they definitely found ways to show us, you know, other cultures and travel out the country without breaking the bank. Carnival was our go-to. And we loved Carnival. Kayla would come with us sometimes. We would have big groups go with us. And that was just something that we did before we kind of just went off into just traveling straight to places.
Gotcha. So
what about you?
For me, very similar. Every spring break, we will be in Orlando. But we wouldn't go to like Disney parks. We did once or twice. But our park always was Universal Studios or Island of Adventures.
Yes, I love those.
Our trips was always the same. Now that I look back, we pretty much did the same thing every time. We wore Orlando out too, but honestly, even at this age, I'm still not tired of Orlando.
Me neither.
I can go back.
Well, I don't really like Florida that much no more, so I don't like to spend too much time there. Yeah, because of the governor and all that.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, I feel you.
You know, I definitely love Florida altogether, Miami, Orlando.
Yeah, we were Orlando out, definitely, and we will always do like medieval times. That's where I fell in love with something like that at Arabian Nights.
I never did it down in Florida.
That's what we always did. Or we would do a show, like they have pirate shows where it's like entertainment while you eat. I love shit like that. It's just so fun. Even at this age, like I like a dinner show. I don't know, any activity I'm down for it.
Right.
But so that was growing up in spring break. Summer times we would do a cruise. Like I've been cruising since I was really, really young. I've always had a passport. I didn't realize that people didn't have passports, or something you had to pay extra for until I was in like my teens. Right. Because I just always had it. My dad, he's in the military, so he always thought travel was important to get out, to learn something. So I just always been traveling, honestly. But with cruises, I wasn't having fun when I was 5, 6 years old because my dad and my sister would leave me at Camp Carnival. I wasn't having no fun. If you don't know, Camp Carnival is basically the daycare on board. And you can leave your kids there all day and all night if you choose to.
Exactly.
And that's where I was. So I wasn't really enjoying cruising when I was a little girl. But when I got older, like 8 or 9, that's when cruises started to come.
That's when we could start signing ourselves out at Camp Carnival.
Exactly. So that's when it was fun. And then, you know, you go abroad, you see Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, Mexico,
Bahamas,
all those places. And at a young age, I just always was like super excited for the summertime because I knew it meant travel.
Yes.
But so let's talk about when we would. So let's talk about our first like big international trip, because in my head I know cruises are international trips,
right?
But I kind of don't associate it like that. Why
so
don't
you want to? Maybe it's because of like the stamp. So you're asking like when I got my first stamp.
Exactly.
I got my first stamp. I probably was about 17.
Okay.
I went to Mexico. So when I was graduating from high school, my parents took me on a graduation trip.
Oh, that's where you went?
To Mexico.
Okay.
And it was so fun. I remember I literally left like right after prom. Or that might have not even been my graduation
trip. Your birthday trip too.
It was my birthday trip or something like that. I can't remember, but I know I was about 16 or 17. And we went to Cancun and I had an amazing time. I definitely experienced like, I don't know if it was me being jet lagged, because I don't know if there's a time difference with Mexico, but it definitely kind of was like a little culture shock that I did experience when I got there.
Because y'all flew there. It wasn't like a cruise.
Yeah, no. This is our first trip where we flew.
Gotcha.
I got the stamp and everything like that. And I just remember it being a culture shock, because when I got there, like the food was really authentic, but it didn't taste like the Mexican food, like the Tex-Mex in America.
Right, okay.
It was really like authentic, and I liked that, but I wasn't really a fan of the desserts because everything tasted wet. Like all their desserts was like wet. Yeah, like and I was just like,
but now you like it.
I mean, I did like it. It just was a unique thing. Like I never experienced that, so I'm like, what is this? But you know, once I got over that, it was a great experience, and they really spoiled me because now I travel all the time. Sure. That wasn't gonna be my last time, but it was really fun. We went jet skiing and just doing different things and seeing the culture. It definitely taught me a lot, and it was fun. I knew that I was gonna be someone that traveled a lot after that moment. Yeah. What about you?
We were just talking about this off camera too. So sophomore year for spring break, I signed up for this program through the business department. It was a week-long study abroad, faculty-led trip.
Nice. With high school?
This is in college, sophomore year college. Oh, okay. So once I got to A&T, so instead of doing a year, so instead of going to Miami, this was the last episode when you talked about y'all had the pit house. Right. I wasn't there because I was in France.
Yes, I do remember.
So I went to France, and it was a faculty trip. It was so fun. It was about 15 other students. Nice. This was my very, very first time going to Europe. I had never been to Europe before. The flight was so long. That was my first longest flight ever. It was
How long was it?
From Atlanta. Well, we left out of RDU, so that's Raleigh, and it was 9 hours from there. And that was the longest flight I ever been on. But it was really fun. That was definitely my first culture shock. But I couldn't help, the first thing I thought about when I landed was, whoa, this does look like Ratatouille. I swear to God. It's like the movie, how the buildings look, how the people talk. Like I was just honestly just trying to pull from something in my brain that I could pull from when I think of France. Like you don't know what you don't know. I didn't know what to expect. And it was really nice. We was there. We got to meet other French students. That was the place where I realized I needed to take my fitness journey seriously. Oh my god! Because one thing Europe will tell you is if you were chunky. Girl, literally, I was like, okay, I need to get back on my Zoom when I get home. And literally, since then, I have been working out.
That's good.
But anyway, it was just a really good experience. That was the first time I realized the food everywhere else except America is better.
Yes, and that's a fact.
And we're gonna talk about that some more. But when I was there, you know, because in France, people eat pastries baguettes, all dope.
A lot of bread.
But these people are slim. How? You know what I mean? Because in America, we're conditioned to think you got to stay away from breads and pastas and all of that if you're trying to lose weight.
Got to stay away from the added ingredients.
Exactly.
That's illegal in the other countries.
Exactly. Yeah. So, just learning about the different foods, the culture difference. But baby, like Kanye said, niggas was in Paris. So you will see black people almost everywhere. Yeah. And that was the place I realized, just like how you felt when you left Mexico, like, okay, I want to travel and I'm not afraid. Yeah. It's like you just kind of have to see it, the initial. It's like you just have to go. Like, it's like a Band-Aid you just got to rip off. And once you go, you're like, oh, it's not bad. They've been lying to us.
Right. Like, people are surviving other places. They make it seem like America makes everything seem like it's a third world country. Yes. But really, when you go other places, you're like, I actually like the way of life over here a little better.
Exactly.
So I definitely get that.
Exactly.
I have a question, though. What is the longest flight you've ever been on? And where did you go?
The longest flight I've ever been on. Definitely the very first time I studied abroad for a semester, I went to Cyprus, and if you're not familiar, Cyprus is in the Mediterranean Sea. It's right above Egypt and to the left of Israel and kind of below Greece. So in that little nook right there. And I had to take a flight from Atlanta to New York. That's a quick flight. But from New York, I had to fly all the way to Qatar.
Gotcha. We flew to Qatar too.
Yeah, so from New York to Qatar, that was 14 hours. Gotcha. And that was the longest flight I had ever been on. And I was going crazy. What was your longest flight?
So, last year in like October, I went to Egypt. You remember?
Oh my God,
and
so nice.
That was amazing. We'll talk about that a little more. But the flight there was about 13 hours. Now, we had to go to Qatar too. And we just flew straight from Atlanta. However, the flight back from Qatar to Atlanta, because we were going against the wind and things like that, it took us 16 hours, and I thought I was going to lose my mind.
Whoa.
Like, 16 hours on a plane, you know, it was okay.
Window seat, aisle seat?
I was in the middle.
Okay.
I was in the middle. I was like, oh my gosh. But, you know, the planes, when you go international, are naturally bigger. The seats are just like a tad bit more spacious. So, you know, it wasn't terrible, but I do remember like taking a nap and waking up and I'm like, 9 hours left? Like, I went to bed, like full, you know, sleep. And it was like, man, you know, that was crazy. But I got through it.
Yeah. How was the food on that flight?
Very Middle Eastern, you know, curry, and that was another thing. I cannot eat. They feed you a lot, but
they do.
I said I cannot eat all this. I'm gonna be on the toilet, like it'll be lines to the bathroom and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I cannot eat all this food, but it was good. You know, I was vegan at the time, so I didn't really eat all of the things that they had. But my parents had like curry chicken and chicken tikka and all these different things, and it was good. But that was my longest flight, 16 hours.
Yeah. So what are your top 3 destinations?
That's a good one. I'm definitely gonna say Cuba is on my list. Cuba was really nice. I just loved everything about Cuba. I would go back in a heartbeat. Egypt was really nice as well too. Not what I expected. Egypt is very kind of like, you know, hood a little bit. Like I didn't expect it to just be like that, but it was really cool to see the pyramids, see that we are the kings and queens, on the calligraphy, on the walls in the pyramids and things like that, learning the history. And then the DR is on my list too. But I'm open to like knock one of those places off the list. But right now I would say Cuba, Egypt, and the DR. What about you?
For me it would be Cuba as well. We share that. Cuba had some of the nicest people I've ever met. To just learn about their culture, the Afro-Cuban culture out there, their religions. It was just very empowering for me. And it was just honest. Also, it was at a time in my life where I was kind of going through a lot, so I really needed a vacation. Yeah. And it was just a place where I could just really clear my head before the new year. Right. And it just was like, it just came at such an amazing time, and it just had some of the nicest people. It just truly made that trip the best.
Yes, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah, definitely a humbling experience for sure.
It was so nice.
After that, I would say, well, it's no order, but Belgium also. Excuse me. Belgium is just so beautiful, especially during the time I went in the summertime. Yeah. And the weather was nice. That was definitely one of the most diverse cities I've ever been to. Just seeing how the little kids play. You have to either know French or German though. Gotcha. But I would learn it and I would live there. It was really, really beautiful. Nice. And the last place that I would say would be Brazil. Yeah. It was just so nice. It was so nice. The people were so beautiful. They have their own Afro culture out there, which is super dope. Brazil is 54% black, so it felt very, familiar for sure. But yeah, just such a beautiful landscape too. Like that was definitely probably one of the nicest landscapes I had seen.
That is so nice.
Yeah, those are my top 3.
I have a question. So if you had to tell somebody something before they leave, what is something or what advice would you give them before they travel abroad?
If you don't have it, it's okay. You can buy it when you get there.
Because
I know people have this feeling like seeing my mom, like when I went to Scotland last year to graduate in November, that was her first international trip. Right. And seeing her pack and thinking that she needed every single little detail of your life, like all the pain medication you can think of, toothbrush, toothpaste, like every single little detail. I mean, obviously things that you need and things that we ended up using once we got there. She's like, say thank you. But you can buy it when you get there. Definitely. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people have this notion that, nothing is like America. They don't have anything anywhere. Right. Like, it's not third world everywhere, y'all. I promise you. They have the things that you'll need. They'll have your toiletries. They'll have your shampoo. They'll have those things.
That's a nice one.
So that's probably mine. It takes the stress out of travel. Yeah. I always kind of pack my bag close to the trip I'm at to leave one. And I'm just never like fearful that I won't be able to get something. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just except when we went to Cuba, we were like, oh.
Except when we went, exactly. Yeah. So you just have to know the type of places you're going, obviously. So before you go, do a little research and see if you can get it. Because that's a good example. Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to get what you're looking for.
Right. That's true.
What's your tip?
For me, I would tell people, try not to compare the cultural norms that you see in America to places that you go abroad. Because when you go different places, they have their own norms. Like, you might go to a place, a different country where they wipe their ass and they throw the shit tissue in the trash can instead of the toilet. Right. You go places where people will bump you and it's not really a big deal. And you go places and just see different things, foods that they eat.
Or even one thing I've noticed is like our idea of personal space, that bubble gets bigger or smaller based on the culture and where you at. So maybe somebody this close to you and you're like, but it's normal for them to be this close. Right. You know what I mean?
Or like even the attire. I would definitely suggest people try to go out and buy something from their attire that they wear. So like in Dubai, we bought the traditional garments and stuff like that. And like when Kayla came back from Brazil, she brought me different things. Like, Africa, we grabbed pieces as well too. So definitely try to get something to bring back that you won't find in America. Sometimes I do colognes, perfumes, and things for my friends so that they can have. But definitely try to do your best with immersing yourself into the culture.
Yeah, that's a good one, Sue. Yes. I definitely do that especially when I'm studying abroad. That's definitely one of the first things I'm thinking about. Like, how can I blend in? Right. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to stick out like a sore thumb because you become easy picking for the good stuff and the bad stuff. Right. So I definitely always like to blend in. So that's a good one. So what is your craziest travel story? Craziest travel story.
Well, thankfully I haven't had anything like super duper crazy, like go to jail or anything like that. But I did one time when my friend, she had a birthday party and we went to the DR and she had this bucket list of things that we had to do for her birthday and stuff like that. And I remember one thing on the list was like go skinny dipping. And we were like at the resort or whatever and it wasn't many people out there. It was people out there, but we did it, and I just was like, oh my God, like
that's I never this too.
Yes, like it's something that you say you want to do, but do you really do it? Exactly. And I just remember doing it. It was so crazy, but it was fun. Nobody really saw us, but that was something that I was like, this is so crazy. And then like another time. In DR as well, but it was a different time. Me and my brother got lost. Okay. And that was kind of like, oh my gosh, like a little scary. And even our Spanish wasn't really as good as it is now.
Oh, okay, right. So, y'all know Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like when we were there, it was just kind of scary. But
how long? Like the timeline of like we're lost to we found what we're looking for. Like was it just like 5 minutes?
No, it was like 30 minutes. Like we had walked in completely long direction. We was in alleys and stuff. And thank God we saw like security, and we only knew like a little bit of Spanish at the time, so he helped us. But it was nerve-wracking, but we got our way back. But those were like sometimes I would think put on my list of crazy things, but nothing too crazy. Have you had anything happen crazy?
Kinda. Mine crazy was in the same trip. What was you better? Why are you doing that?
I was thinking about that time you called me and you talking about that lady got stabbed in the street or something like that.
Girl, you just put two things in your brain together. That was when I went to London and it was a stabbing. Your mom just put that.
No, that crazy girl that was in the street.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Exactly.
I really wasn't even going to bring that up. That's so crazy. Oh my God, so that I wasn't even gonna say that. That's so funny. So
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. So in Scotland, I was like going into my apartment building, and it was just like white girl on the street. And it's pouring raining, and she's like in the street, no umbrella, soaking wet, hair soaking wet, and she's like, it was a little nerve wracking. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm like got my groceries trying to go in my apartment. People are ignoring her, but I was just like. Something inside was like, I can't let this girl kill herself. Like she's like in the middle of the street, like I'm like something inside me was just like, I can't allow this to happen. So I was like, are you okay? Like come on here. And then I'm trying to help her out the street. She's literally in the middle of traffic, and it's not like I hopped into the middle of an expressway. It's like a side alley street next to my apartment. Right. But cars were going through, and I tried to help her out the rain, and then I kind of sat her on some steps, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was just like crying, and then I think she was drunk or something. I don't know, but I knew she wasn't Scottish. She was like some sort of international student.
Gotcha.
They consider me an international student, but I knew she wasn't Scottish. And I was like, "Are you okay? Like, are you?" And then she was like drunk, and she looked at me, and she like, "Shut up, bro, shut up, bro." And then after that, I was like, "Fuck this bitch, man. I don't give a fuck who this is." And I was like, "Okay." I like got her out the street, and that was it. I was but it was crazy because it was like after I put her on the steps, and then after she kind of was like saying slurs, I don't know what I can't remember, but it was something that was like, fuck this bitch. It was so far. I just went in my apartment and I like told the security guard, I was like, there's somebody out there trying to kill themselves. Like, can you call the police? I swear to you. And then it was like this Nigerian dude, and he was like, he came with me, he was like, oh, this is her? I was like, yeah, like something, I don't know. Something was wrong. It was like she had fighting demons. I ain't trying to get no demons attached to me or something.
Girl, so you trying to do a good deed.
I'm trying to do a good deed, and she told me fuck me. Like, okay. So I'm like, yeah, this is her. And then as I'm telling him this is her, she's running in the middle of the street. It's like a truck, and the truck slams on brakes, and it's like honking at her. I almost witnessed a murder. Like, I don't know, but it was like
suicide.
Oh yeah, suicide. Yeah, right. It was crazy. So that was definitely, and that was a crazy experience. But that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say when I missed my flight in Israel, and I was like, I'm scared now.
I actually was terrified for Kayla because I remember she was telling me like, I'm getting ready to get on a plane, da da da. Yeah. And then I remember like, this is when I'm in America, so we had each other's location, and I remember looking at your location, and I saw that you were still somewhere else, and I was trying to call you, and I heard like fumbling sounds, and it sounded like somebody was kidnapping her. I butt down her on accident. But this is why you need to have somebody to always keep up with you, even if it's back home or where you are. Like somebody should always know where you are, have your location, account for you. Right. So, and then you were saying like my phone, I didn't want to use it not on Wi-Fi, so I had put on airplane mode so you could call me. Oh my God, I was so scared. I'm sorry. Yeah, but that was crazy. Yeah. We didn't even get into our current event. We kind of jumped right into the international show. So much to talk about. I know. Okay, so what's been going on? Well, my current event It's 2 words, 1 person, Vince Staples.
Oh.
Okay. He's so cute. I want to say, oh my gosh. Vince Staples is so fun.
How is this a current event?
Because he has a new show on Netflix that's coming out called The Vince Staples Show.
Period. Okay.
And I've been watching it and it's so funny. Like, I don't know, like, I knew that he was an artist.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with his music, but my brother did listen to his music.
Gotcha.
So then I started to watch his show and it's hilarious. Like, I just love the...
It's like our type of vibe.
Yes. It kind of puts you in the mind. I don't like to compare, but it puts you in the mind of a little bit like Atlanta. Like, just a lot of random different things.
That comparison.
But, yeah, shout out to Vince Staples.
Yes, hey Vince. Okay, that was good. I kind of wanted to go another turn.
Yeah.
Kind of want to give the update to my last current event.
Yeah.
With the Drea situation. So new information. So turns out that she babysat him when he was like 12.
Yeah, like that. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know if that's true or not.
But I
seen that. And if that is true,
they
then
said that was the son's friend.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
true. Grooming.
Yeah, if that's true, that's grooming.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah. So update to that story.
That's really nasty.
Yeah, it's crazy out here.
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Okay.
So let's get into this acting bag. You ready? You want to go first, or you want to do paper scissors rock, rock paper scissors? Whichever you want to call it.
Let me go rock paper scissors on your ass.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dang.
Okay.
I hope you don't do the same thing I do.
What are we doing? What did you
guess that film?
Oh, okay. But I was saying, like, did you have a genre or something? I mean,
international.
Okay. Mine is kind of short and sweet.
Why do I know that? Oh. Come Back to America. Coming to America.
Yes.
Coming to America.
Coming Back to America.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. That was good. I was like, I gotta get this.
That's okay. Come on, you can get that.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Psst. Chancho, I need some sweats. Are you leaving us? No, I never leave you.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to borrow some sweats.
Nacho Libre. That was so good. You put me on. Yeah, that was a good one. That was good. Your family loved that movie. I only watched it when I would go over your house.
It's so funny, and to find out that Jack Black isn't even Hispanic, it's like even funnier.
Yeah.
That movie had me thinking he was like Mexican.
Yeah, he's not. That is so funny.
Yes, I love that movie so much.
All right, let's shout out these businesses. You ready?
Yes.
Who you got this week?
So this week I'm giving a shout out to Chef C Kitchen. Shout out to CJ Calder, whatever you want to call him. He is a chef in the Atlanta area. He does catering and events and things like that. Ask him where he learned how to cook from.
Okay.
I'm just joking. But yeah, shout out to him and keep doing your thing.
Yeah, shout out to you. Okay, so my business this week is KSK, Tax and Accounting Solutions. This is my sister's friend Tashima's business. She is really good with taxes, monthly cleanups. If you do your own side hustle, she turns it into like a legitimate business. Yeah, so definitely hit her up. We're gonna have her information on the screen because y'all, it's tax season. And if you ain't did your taxes, what you doing?
Yes.
So shout out to you.
I might need to hit her up.
Right, for real.
But yeah, so let's wrap it up. Wrap it up. Another one done.
How are we doing this? Like, I'm just
by the grace of God.
No, okay. seriously. I feel like going to the gym has been able to help me with just discipline. And now we're able to 100% put all that discipline we have in other avenues of our life.
I 100% agree. And it definitely showed me that as long as you're consistent through everything, then it'll definitely pay off in the end. You know, some days you may not feel like it, but that consistency is going to get you through it. And I feel like we've been taking that concept and just applying it to our life. And I'm excited to see what we get from it.
Me too.
I'm super proud of us because me and Kayla we were always the one, we have an interest and like, okay, maybe later.
It's just, but is that a Gemini thing?
I don't know. Like, I just love to dibble and dabble.
I love dibbling and dabbling. I have so many interests that I just start and I'm like, done with that. Right. But I like to be a jack of all trades.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, that's a discussion for another day. Gemini Shawty coming soon.
Right. Definitely. But alrighty, y'all, that's it for this week. Yep. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like it, and leave some comments down below.
Yes, y'all, please leave your businesses. We love shouting out small businesses, small Black-owned businesses, even more. Yes, y'all, and also don't forget to, if you reach out, if y'all maybe want to send us some merch, maybe you might see one of your pieces on our Check My Fit segment. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and we gonna see y'all next week.
See y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.